Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be on a movie review, a quick one about the new Mortal Kombat that just came out today. If you haven't seen it, this will be spoiler alert, so don't watch this until you watch the movie. Fair warning. but, so let's get into it. So basically, this movie, I think it's a lot better than the first two. The first Mortal Kombat I thought was really good. The second one, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, was good, but just kind of a little cringy. This one actually follows this guy named Cole Young, and this movie starts off back in the year 1617 at the Scorpions compound. It's the Hinzo Hisashi compound, and it's a Hinzo Hisashi, and he's out there gardening and stuff, and then Bihan comes by and kills his family, and then kills him, and then because Bihan, is Sub-Zero. He's the original Sub-Zero, the first one, in the game, and he kills Hinzo Hisashi and his wife and eldest son, but they had a little baby that they hid, and then after he was killed, this little fire just came in and sucked him out, and he disappeared, and then Lord Raiden showed up and took his little gardening tool that he had, that was killing people, that ends up becoming this little spear that he throws, and takes the baby and just bolts out. And then it comes, to present day, and like I said, this movie does have a lot of the Mortal Kombat lore to it too, which is really good. And then it starts basically, starting to follow this fighter. He's a cage friend. His name Cole Young, and he has a fight, and Jax shows up, and he was talking to him about his little dragon tattoo that he has, and his daughter telling him that it's Cole's daughter said that it's a birthmark that he's born with it, and so they're trying to go around and get all the people with the fighters that have that marking. And so Cole and his family are out eating, and Jax is keeping an eye on them, trying to recruit him. And then Sub-Zero shows up and tries to kill him because he was talking with Shang Tsung in Outworld, and Shang Tsung had an idea that they're on the verge of winning their 10th tournament, and that he kind of wanted to go and kill off all the Earth Realm fighters so that it'd be easier for the Outworld to take that 10th tournament. And he told Sub-Zero to find him and kill him. And he tries to kill Cole Young, and Jax steps in, and Sub-Zero ends up, luring Jax into this building, or froze his arm and ripped him off. And he had told, Jax had told Cole to go find Sonya Blade. And then, so he did find Sonya at where she was living, and then that's when you kind of introduced Kano. And Kano in this movie, I actually like him. He's always has some, smart ass remarks through the whole entire movie. That's actually really funny, and it just always has like some offhanded smart ass remark to make. And so they're talking, and Sonya Blade ends up kind of revealing a lot about the Mortal Kombat tournament, that she's been traveling, but she's been researching it over last 6 or 7 years, and she has all these pictures and stuff. You do see a picture of Nightwolf, and there's a little sketch in a book or something that looks like Nightwolf, and then there's another picture that she had that looked like Kudal Khan. And she was telling them, that there's a whole bunch of other realms out there trying to, take over Earthrealm and the other realms. And Shang Tsung finds out that, they escaped, so he sends Reptile to kill Kano and Cole Young, because Kano apparently had killed somebody that had a dragon marking, and he ended up getting it. But Sonya Blade never did have one. And then, so, that's when Reptile shows up, tries to kill him, and that's when, Kano got his eye scratched. And through this whole movie, Kano never does have that big metal eye patch or metal cybernetic implant over his right eye through the whole movie. It kind of sucks. Maybe you get in a different one, I don't know, in a different movie. And then, so they, try to leave. And so, they finally leave, and then Kano says that he knows where Raiden's temple is, so they go try to find it, and they end up running into Liu Kang. And then, so Liu Kang takes him to Raiden's temple, where you meet up with Raiden again, and then you meet up with Kung Lao. And then, so they start training and stuff, and then they have to find their inner ability that comes with that exact dragon marking. And then you see where Jax is there, and they're, putting on those metal arms and stuff, trying to save him. And then Shang Tsung is back in Outworld, and him and Sub-Zero and Melina show up, try to, attack the temple, and then Raiden puts a barrier around it to protect him, and then they start training, and let's see, and then after they start training, they're trying to find out the abilities, and then they're sitting there at dinner talking, and Kung Lao starts pissing off Kano, trying to get him upset, and he keeps getting upset, and finally finds his ability that he can shoot that laser out of his eye. And then they are trying to get Cole Young to get his, and he's not getting it. And then Raiden sends Cole Young home, and then you see a part where Shang Tsung is back in Outworld, and then Melina, Katara, the female bat lady, vampire, Rico, and then Cabal, they all show up, and they're going to try to attack the building, the temple that Lord Raiden's in. And then you kind of see a door open, and you see kind of a shadow of Goro show up. And then, so Goro goes and attacks Cole at home, or at the little safe house. And then they're fighting, and then Cole Young finally figures out his ability, because throughout the whole movie he's been kind of having these visions or dreams, and it's Scorpion. And then at one point Raiden finally gives him the spear, the guardian tool that had Hinso Hisashi's blood on it, and kind of find out that that little baby that they saved, that waiting to save that baby to preserve the bloodline of Hisashi, and that Cole is a direct descendant of Hinso Hisashi. And then so he finally figures out his uh, his ability, and he has that armor that goes over him, and then he actually ends up killing Goro. And then when everybody else attacks the Raiden's temple, they're fighting, and then Cabal shows up and talks to Kano and tries to get him to join him, and then he ends up joining, portraying Sonya Blade and everybody else to join Shang Tsung, and then let's see, and then when they're fighting, Kun Lao ends up taking that katara and puts his throws his hat in the ground and it's spinning. And he just rides on top of her and just splits right apart because there is a lot of. It is rated R, so there is a few fatalities and a lot of blood in this movie, and that was the first fatality that they had in the movie. And then let's see, and then Shang Tsung ends up stealing Kun Lao's soul. And then, so that was like another person that got killed. And then Jax ended up having these little puny robot arms, and he was, fighting Rico, and they kind of knocked him and Sonya Blade down, and he was trying to get this big boulder off, and finally his little puny arms finally get into what they normally are the big hulking mechanical arms, and then Raiden takes all the all the Earth fighters to the in-between one between his and Earth, and then that's when they go and make a plan of attack. And then Jax does go fight Lord Rico, and it looks like when it's on the pit, and they're fighting, he does a fatality where he actually goes and smashes Rico's head, and does a fatality that way, and then Sonya ends up fighting Kano, and then stabs him in the eye and kills him. So I don't know if they're gonna bring him back. And then let's see, and then they kill Cabal. And then the last one was, and then Liu Kang ends up killing Cabal. He gets that big old fire dragon and eats him, as a fatality. And then let's see, then so at the end of the movie, they save Sub-Zero for last. And Hinso Hisashi, Scorpion hasn't been in much of the movie since he was killed. Just little flashbacks. And then, talking of, there's my Scorpion one action figure there. And then Scorpion, he has been in, there has been in the whole movie since he got killed and sent to the Nether Realms. And then he, at the end, when they're fighting Sub-Zero, he finally shows up because Cole was fighting him because Sub-Zero kidnapped his family and had put him in the ring and froze him up, and he thought he was killed. And then when he had the spear, they had Scorpion's blood on it. You kind of touch and cut it, and then finally, this is at the end of the movie where Scorpion and Sub-Zero actually start fighting. And that's that big old fight sequence and series that you saw in the trailers. And then they end up killing Sub-Zero. And what happened was Scorpion took off his mask and he actually did his little toasty fatality and killed Sub-Zero, with the fire. And then Cole saved his family, and then Raiden was back at the temple and sends Shang Tsung back to Earth Outworld. So I guess they stopped the invasion or the fight outside of the rules that Shang Tsung was trying to do. So I don't know if they prevented the Mortal Kombat tournament, the 10th tournament, or if they just stopped the fight so the 10th tournament can continue. And then so what happens is that they stopped that, like I said, stopped the invasion, and then now Cole is back at the fighting cage fighting place that he was, and he quits and tells the guy, the promoter, that he's going to Hollywood. And the guy's like, "What's in Hollywood?" He says, "Not what, who?" And then he leaves, and then the camera pans over, and there's a picture of a guy from about here down, and it's Johnny Cage. He has a little belt buckle so that has Cage on it. And that's how the movie ends. And I don't think there is any after credits that I didn't see, but it looks like they're kind of setting up the Mortal Kombat universe maybe for like a second movie that could have Johnny Cage in it. And Shang Tsung did tell Raiden that death is only a portal to the next realm or something, or it's only temporary. So he did take up all his fighters that he did lose, and he said next time he won't bring fighters, he'll bring an army. And so maybe this time he'll resurrect Sub-Zero, Bihan, and maybe he'll become Smoke in the future movie. So I think they did kind of left it open to where, the Earth realm has its basic fighters, and then they could have, like Johnny Cage, and maybe they could have some more, maybe Nightwolf might show up, and maybe they could have some more characters in Mortal Kombat 2, 3, 4, whatever. So I think that they could really set up, more Mortal Kombat movies in the future. But, and I think that's really kind of cool. Well, that's my movie review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, put a thumbs up, like it, share it, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.